everybody, my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, hello, happy whatever day you're seeing this on. I don't really know what day you're gonna be seeing this, so yeah. I don't have any updates for you guys, so let's just get into today's story time. I'm gonna bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I'll be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, y'all, story time about my toxic friend group. Also, if my eye looks really red, it's because I have a sty. Yeah. Okay, so story time about my super toxic friend group. So a little background information. I was 11 years old, transitioning from elementary school into middle school whenever my friend group started getting super toxic. But before we get into that, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my life. So the school that I went to was a school that every single person wanted to go to. And I'm not being overdramatic. Like, I'm talking, people were literally stealing other people's addresses and putting them down as their own so that way they could go to this school. Like, it was that serious. And I mean, I get why, because do you guys remember watching Zoe 101 and always just being like, oh my gosh, I wish my school was like that. It looks so cool. That was low-key my school. Yeah, it was. Like, it was a public school that definitely should have been a private school because of the kinds of kids that went there. And I had a disabled family member, which put a lot of financial stress on my family. Like, don't get me wrong, we still lived in a super nice neighborhood. We had food on the table every night. Y'all, I like can't see out of this eye and it's pissing me off. Like, I thought I was going blind this morning. I'm not even lying, like not even trying to be funny. It's scary. Anyways, but the group of girls that I was friends with, one, had no idea what financial stress was, and two, what I was going through. I'm sure I could have told them, but they just weren't the type that would understand. They were probably the type that would be like, okay, we'll tell your parents to make more money. And then I would have smacked them. Just kidding. Just kidding. I literally wouldn't have. Mentally though, probably. So yeah, you guys get it. Went to a school where it got you popularity points, and I was friends with a group of girls that lived a life where money basically grew on trees. But let me tell you a little bit more about the girls in my friend group. First, we have Rachel. Rachel was kind of crazy. She was one of those girls who had an extremely loud personality. And I'm not talking one where it's like, oh my god, she's so funny and outgoing and totally herself. No, I'm talking about an obnoxious personality. Like, you could tell that her parents were the ones that would take her to a store and let her run around and just rip shit off the shelves. And you could also tell that she was the child that was never told to shut the fuck up. Like, when I would have a conversation with this girl, especially in public, she would be so loud, like she had no idea what an inside voice was. It would be to the point where you would get embarrassed to be having a conversation with her. Like, she would be talking like this to everyone, and you'd be like, yeah, sure, get the fuck away from me, type shit, okay? Now, I'm not surprised because of her obnoxious personality that she developed this weird habit of liking to physically hurt us. Like, one day she just randomly started sticking out her leg, trying to trip us, kicking us in the fucking shins, and like kicking the back of our knee, and like, you know, where you just like fucking fold over and fall backwards. And it just like randomly started one day out of nowhere. Y'all, when I was in elementary school, there was this one girl, every morning on the bus, when we would get to school, we would all line up in the middle of the bus, and my assigned seat was right behind hers. Some mornings, she would literally just turn around and kick me in the fucking shins. I have no idea what it is with children and kicking people in the fucking shins, but when I tell you guys, I feel like I still have indents in my shins from this girl just like Converse on, just into my fucking shins. I should have kicked her back. I don't know why I never did. Like, maybe she would have stopped if I did that. It's those things you think about, you know? Anyways, this story's not about me and my shins. Let's get back to the fucking story. So yeah, like I said, this girl just for some reason liked abusing us. Like, if you were gonna hang out with this girl for more than 5 minutes, you might as well invest in some fucking shin pads, okay? So we all ended up telling our mom. By the way, this is not like a main part in the story, okay? This is just me telling you this girl was fucking annoying. And yeah, our moms basically called and they were like, yo, like, can you tell your daughter to stop abusing our children. Like, she's literally leaving bruises on our kids. Yeah, after that, she ended up getting better at not kicking us in the fucking shins. But yeah, that was Rachel. Funny story, actually, I recently saw her while I was out and we said hi to each other. I didn't confront her about kicking me in the shins because, like, I don't know, we were like maybe 10. We're like 20 something years old now. It wasn't that deep. It was not that serious. So now that you guys know Rachel, let's move on to Emily. Emily was another girl in our group. And she was cool, but her parents were extremely strict. Like, really, 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 really strict. Like, her mom was overly strict. Like, she would freak out about a fucking pack of sugar. A little packet of sugar. I know whenever Emily went trick-or-treating on Halloween, she wasn't going because she was happy about the candy because she knew she wasn't gonna fucking get any. It was because she was happy to get away from her fuck-ass mom. This low-key reminds me of whenever Kourtney Kardashian was like saying that the kids shouldn't be able to have candy at the Candyland birthday party. Do y'all remember that? Kids don't need candy at a Candyland birthday party. And yeah, I really remember the only words that would ever come out of Emily's mouth were, oh, I have to ask my mom. Oh, I don't know if my mom's gonna say yes. My mom this, my mom that. Blah, 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 blah. Ugh. Like, the child couldn't have any fucking fun. Which, half the time, her mom did say no whenever she would ask to do anything. Like, there would be times where she wouldn't be allowed to come to sleepovers. She wouldn't be allowed to come to our little themed parties that we would throw, you know? Like, we would throw themed parties and she wasn't allowed to come. And it wasn't like it was like a, oh, dress like a slut party. No, it would be like, dress like a Powerpuff Girl party. And my parents would be home. Just weird. But you know what? I know her parents probably look back on those moments and wish that they were maybe just a little bit less psychotic when it came to her. Because she is my living proof that the more strict you are with your children and the less that you allow them to be open and the less comfortable they feel to come and tell you things, the more they're going to rebel. This girl finally had that, you know what, fuck my parents moment. And let's just say when she got to that point, she didn't give her parents no breaks. She dragged them through the mud. Literally. Like, she did her big one with that. It ultimately led to her becoming the slut of the group. But you know, we didn't judge. We didn't judge. Nope. At least I didn't judge. I don't know about the other bitches. So yeah, that was Emily. Now moving on to Tessa. Honestly, there's nothing that special about Tessa. And I'm not saying that to sound like a bitch, but it's true. Her only personality trait was being Madison's minion. No fucking joke. Like, this was her yes man. If Madison said 2 + 2 was 5, you bet your ass Tessa was gonna go to war to prove that she was right. Yeah. Yeah, like, her head was so far up her ass, she could taste her food. Yeah. But now this brings me to the last two girls of the group, Madison and Lena. Now, Madison was definitely the it girl of the group. Like, the rich bitch, I'm talking Regina George type shit. She thought the world revolved around her, which I can't blame her for her thinking that it did. Because it basically did. Everybody was putting this girl on a pedestal. Why? Well, mainly because her family had a fuck ton of money. So she always had the nicest things and the newest things. And if you ever thought you were gonna get one up on her, think again, because she would literally try and ruin your life. And yeah. Now, I never really liked hanging out with Madison alone. Because even at an early age, I could tell what kind of person she was. Which, don't worry, you guys are going to find out more of what kind of person she is later. But now, let's get to Lena. Lena was basically Madison's #1 best friend. Like, they had been best friends since they were little. Like, before elementary school type shit. Ooh, y'all, this eyebrow's looking scary as fuck. You know what it is? It's whenever I don't shape my eyebrows that they always do. Well, actually, that's not a surprise. Never mind, you guys. everybody knows that when they don't shape their eyebrows, they look fucking terrible. So just stating the obvious over here. Never mind. Anyways, but yeah, Lena was way more down to earth and humble. Like, if I were to talk to one of them about a problem, I'm picking Lena over Madison any day because she was also not nearly as judgmental. But you could tell that the power dynamic in their friendship was fucked. Like, extremely fucked. Because Lena would never talk to Madison about anything that bothered her. Instead, she would go behind Madison's back and talk to myself and the other girls about something that Madison did that bothered her, which we didn't care because we all knew that Madison was a bitch and nobody really ever wanted to confront her about anything. And yeah, so their friendship was toxic, but it didn't help that not only were they best friends, but their moms were best friends. But I'm not talking about their moms having this genuine, loving friendship between two women that are like sisters and they have kids together and they want them to empower each other. No. None of that positive shit over here, kid. No. Not at all. You thought. Wrong. Yeah. No, this was the type of, oh, we're best friends and our daughters are best friends, but let's make it a competition type of friendship shit. So yeah, of course, the whole thing was about popularity and money. Like, you know how parents will try to live through their children? Like a dad that wanted to be a basketball player, he tries to get his son to be the best basketball player in the world. Or a mom that wanted to do beauty pageants when she was younger so she couldn't, so then she puts her daughter in beauty pageants, blah, 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 all that shit, right? Well, I'm like almost positive that's what happened here. Maybe their moms went to school together and it was all about who was popular back then whenever they were in school, and the tradition has just continued. Now they're pitting their daughters against each other because they were always trying to one-up each other through Madison and Lena. Guys, this concealer fucking sucks right now. Also, I do realize that I'm swearing a lot. I apologize. I'm gonna try to stop. I just get so pumped up to do these story times and then I'm like, can't control what's coming out of my mouth. I apologize. Sorry. And yeah, and I feel like whenever this happens, and I feel like when something like that happens, it rubs off onto the kids without them even knowing. Like, now they're in this toxic cycle that they had no idea was created because of their parents. Which I'm gonna give you guys an example of why I think this in a minute. But for now, yeah, that is my friend group. And yeah, we would all hang out after school every day. We would go hang out at the mall together. After school, we would always go to this one McDonald's and get food by our houses. We would go hang out at this one strip mall on Fridays. We were always having sleepovers. And yeah, it was just basically that one friend group that every girl wants to have at that age. And we were all super close. I mean, of course there were some girls that were closer than others, like for example Lena and Madison, but nobody was ever jealous of anybody's friendship that anybody had with anybody. Like the fact that Madison and Lena were close to each other, really close. Nobody was jealous of that. Maybe Tessa was, because like I said, she had this weird obsession with Madison, but yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, we didn't really have a lot of drama within our friend group. The only time that there would be drama was if everybody hung out and excluded one person. But nobody would care if 4 of the girls were hanging out and 2 weren't hanging out, because most of the time it was that the 2 of us couldn't make it or something like that. But yeah, only time there would be problems with it was if one person was not invited. So yeah, now let me tell you guys about how my friend group turned into a super toxic group of bullies, because that's exactly what they were. So one of the first times that I felt like these girls were targeting / bullying me for no reason. And guys, when I say no reason, I'm serious. Like, I can't think of why I just became a target out of nowhere for them to start bullying me. But anyway, so I am 11 years old and I'm in 6th grade, and we were all hanging out at the pool, and I had just gotten my period and I hadn't told any of the girls yet. But on top of getting my period, I wasn't wearing tampons yet, so I didn't want to go in the pool. understandable, but not to girls that hadn't gotten their period yet. So anyways, yeah, the girls are calling me a pussy and saying like, what the fuck, why don't you want to come in the pool, blah blah blah. And I just kept telling them that I couldn't. So then finally, after being bothered enough about it, I'm sitting with one of the girls and I end up telling them like, yeah, this is why I can't go in the pool. Well, this, I'm not gonna say what I wanted to call her, just kidding. This bitch goes and tells everyone. And all of a sudden they're all like, OMG, you got your period already? That's so weird. Ew.
Girl, shut the fuck up. Girl, shut the fuck up.
And I mean, I get it, because some people get there super early and some people get there super late. But I'm also like, are these bitches slow? Like, do y'all not think this is gonna be you in a few years? Clearly slow as fuck. But yeah, it was so embarrassing. While I'm standing there, they're all trying to make me feel weird and gross for becoming a woman. So yeah, they publicly humiliated me because I didn't want to go swimming because I got my period. Yeah, at 11 years old. But you know, whatever. It's fine, I guess. Not really. So now, fast forward to 8th grade. At our school, we had to wear uniforms. You had to wear khakis, navy blue, or black shorts with a polo to school. And it could be any colored polo. So we came up with this cool little routine where we would text in the group chat our polo colors for that day or that week. Like, for example, Monday would be green, Wednesday would be pink, and Friday was Spirit Day, so we would wear our Friday Spirit Day shirts. But then fast forward, as time went on, I started to realize that some weird shit was going on. For example, we would all text the group chat and talk about what polo we were gonna wear. Like, everybody would be like, oh yeah, let's wear our yellow polos tomorrow. And then fast forward, I would show up at school. Nobody had a yellow fucking polo shirt on except for me. They would be wearing something completely different. And it's not like Tessa would be in purple, Madison would be in blue, so on and so forth. No, they would all be wearing, say, their fucking Spirit shirt, where I'm wearing a yellow polo. And I just felt so awkward standing in the courtyard with them because, like, what the fuck? Obviously, they planned this to make me look stupid, rude as fuck. And trust me, guys, I know this seems like such a small issue. Like, girl, it's a polo shirt, get over it. It's not about the polo shirt, it's the fucking principle. I was 12 or 13 years old, okay? And it was known that all of us were in this same friend group. So when people see you with your friend group that you're usually always matching with, not matching with them, but they're all matching, it's gonna make people think like, OMG, do they not want to be friends with her anymore? Like, oh, do they not like her anymore? And it's also just upsetting because nobody wants to be left out. Like, what the fuck? That's like, say if you were going out with all your work friends or something like that and they all told you, oh, like, this place is super casual, jeans and a t-shirt. You show up and they're all wearing like sundresses and you're dressed in a fucking jeans and a white t-shirt. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Rude. Very much mean girl things. And also it was just really upsetting too because these girls that I had basically been best friends with my whole life are just out of nowhere being mean to me. And as much as I did want to branch out and make new friends, we were in middle school and everybody was already clicked up, okay? Like, nobody had time to find a new set of best friends within like 5 seconds because high school was literally right around the corner. So I just stuck it out. And then there were more little things here and there that would happen that would make me feel singled out and hurt my feelings. But one of the biggest things was probably the nickname that they came up with for me. Okay, y'all, listen. I don't know what's happening, okay? I did this look yesterday because I was like, let me practice so that way I don't do it and it looks fucking terrible. I don't know what happened. I don't know what fucking happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Whatever. I'm gonna do this eye after because I'm just not with it right now. Fuck that shit. Okay, so yeah. So they came up with this nickname for me, okay? And this whole thing went on for about 6 or 7 months, okay? Really hurt my fucking feelings. I remember the one day I'm walking over to them and I hear one of them say, "There's the duck." And I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't know that they were talking about me. No fucking clue. And I know you guys are probably thinking, girl, how did this go on for 6 or 7 months and you like were clueless? Like, make it make sense. Here's the thing. Because they would say it in just right in front of me. And I just really didn't think that bitches were that fucking rude. Like, I guess I was very naive to think that people wouldn't be that much of an asshole to your face. Sorry for wanting to see the good in people. My bad. No, but at first it only started happening a little bit, right? Like, they would say it here and there. Like, oh, the duck this, the duck that, whatever. But then finally, maybe a few weeks after I had first heard about this duck, they started saying it 24/7. Anytime that I would walk over to them, it was, oh, look, it's the duck. And the reason why I had no idea was because it wouldn't just happen whenever I was walking over to them alone. No, I would be walking with like Emily or Rachel, and they would say, oh, the duck's arrived, or did you guys see the duck earlier today? And I dance, okay? If you've ever done ballet or you've danced before, you know that over time you might start to walk outturned because you're so used to keeping your feet open. It's honestly a pretty common thing among dancers. Anyways, so that was why they were referring to me as the duck. But yeah, I would constantly ask them, who's the duck? Who the fuck is the duck? Who are you guys calling the duck? Hello. And every time I would ask them, they would all just look at each other and they would start laughing. And I would just be like, okay, whatever, and walk away and brush it off because I just thought that it was really weird. Still had no idea it was about me. Because like I said, these are my friends. I didn't think they were gonna make fun of me right to my face. Well, finally the one day I am hanging out with Lena alone. It is just the two of us. And I just straight up asked her, I'm like, dude, who's the duck? Like, can you tell me? This is getting honestly like really annoying. And she looks at me and she's like, you want me to be honest? And I'm like, duh, bitch. Wouldn't have asked if I didn't care. I didn't say those words, but I was thinking it because, girl, come on now. Don't be slow. Anyways, so she goes and she's like, you're the duck. Like, it's you. And so now I'm just like in shock. And she's like, trust me, I know it's really fucking mean. Like, I know. And I'm just like, yeah, you think? But then I'm like, I mean, damn, like, thanks for telling me. And I tried to play it off like it didn't hurt my feelings, which I did a good job of because nobody really apologized to me, which honestly, I think that even if I did tell them I was upset about it, I don't know if they would have apologized, to be honest. I don't really think it would have mattered. Yo, I know the makeup looks crazy. Just like trust the process with me, please. Just trust. But yeah, I thought that it would be better if they didn't know that they hurt my feelings. But like, damn, bro, like y'all are supposed to be my friends. Like, not only did you come up with some mean nickname towards me, but you made this whole inside joke tied to my body. And I didn't even realize that I walked that way, guys. Like, this is how you create insecurities in people. You point things out about them that they never even noticed in the first place, and great, now they're insecure. Have y'all ever had anybody do that where like they point something out about you that you never noticed before, and then you're like, damn, I never realized that about myself, and then it becomes a huge insecurity of yours? Yeah, cause same. Anyways, so yeah, that was that. Fast forward to my freshman year in high school. There was this one situation that had to do with my brother. My family and I, we were super excited because he was really sick and this one medication had finally gotten approved for him, and I shared the good news with my friends, and instead of them just all being happy for me, you have Madison who's going around and telling people that the only reason why I'm happy about this is because I'll be able to pop pills because my brother got prescribed this medication. Yeah. So she had to turn that into something shitty, you know. Thanks. Moving on again. Remember how I told you guys earlier that I was going to give you an example of how toxic Lena and Madison's friendship was because of their moms? Well, yeah, here's that example I promised you. So finally, we get to the time whenever everybody is practicing to get their driver's permit, and something extremely common at my school was for your parents to buy you a car to practice driving. yeah, your parents would literally buy you a car to practice for your license. Now, Lena and Madison were fighting over who was going to get the newest Beamer, aka the newest BMW. Now, at first, it wasn't a fight though. Nobody cared who was getting what, really. They just knew that they were getting really nice fucking cars to practice driving in. Lena's parents were gonna get her a BMW 3 Series. It's a nice car, really nice fucking car, especially for a first car when you don't even have your fucking license yet. But then whenever Madison's mom found out that she was getting the 3 Series, she had to go and get Madison the BMW 4 Series. Yeah, y'all, this is how serious this shit got. I'm not even fucking joking. It's like actually insane that first world problems. First world fucking problems. Okay. So yeah, Madison's mom gets her this so that way she can have the better car. And I just remember sitting in Lena's room with her, and she is bawling her eyes out over this situation. She's like, no, like, you don't even get it. It's not even Madison. It's literally her mom. Like, this is just so unfair. She always has to one-up me on everything. I can never have anything nice because it's always ruined because of her. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, this shit's fucking crazy. Real fucking crazy. Real insane. But I mean, okay, I get how it could be frustrating, maybe, okay? But at the same time, I'm sitting here and I'm like, girl, you're getting a brand new fucking car. You don't even have your license and you're crying about it. And by the way, this really didn't have anything to do with me. This is just me giving you guys an example of like how toxic and nasty this friend group was. But like in this situation for me though, I wasn't getting a car at all. My situation compared to theirs was so different. My family, like I said before, had financial limitations because of my brother's medical bills. Because hello, those are expensive as fuck. And I just literally remember sitting there thinking to myself, these girls are sitting here fighting over who's gonna get the newest Beamer. Well, I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna get a new pair of Tory Burch sandals so that way I'm not getting bullied by them. Because mine literally have holes and rips in them. Like, I remember the one day we were all hanging out and I took mine off and Lena and Madison start looking at my shoes and they're like, don't you think you could use like a new pair of shoes? And these shoes are like $50, okay? They're not the most expensive things in the world, but I could not afford to get a new pair. Somehow I finessed a new pair though. I went to Tory Burch and I was like, yeah, I've had these for a month. Don't know what the fuck happened to them, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh yeah, those should not have worn out that fast. Bam, thankfully they give me a new pair. Okay, but yeah, honestly, it was just like extremely weird because while I was over here worried about how I'm gonna pay for a pair of $50 flip-flops, these girls are crying because the $45,000 Beamer that daddy bought them isn't good enough. And y'all, if you haven't picked up by now, my school was filled with kids like this. Like, this wasn't just a Lena and Madison issue. Fuck. Y'all, if that broke, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. It didn't break. This wasn't just a Lena and Madison thing. This was a every kid that went to my school thing. Like, when I tell you that every kid in my school who was in my grade was getting a brand new car, like, it would make me feel better if I was over exaggerating, but I'm not. Like, I remember going to the bus stop and being super embarrassed because I had to take the bus to and from school. I would put my hood up and try to hide so that way nobody saw me going to the bus stop and stuff. And for those of you who were like, well, like, why'd you care what people think? Blah, 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 blah. Growing up in this type of environment, it's extremely hard not to care what people think. Believe it or not. Especially whenever everything is about money and status. Damn, they just like stomped so loud upstairs. Like, why are y'all loud as fuck? Anyways. So yeah, that happened. Like I said, that was like just a little side story, you know, whatever. Now, during this time, we had started hanging out with this group of guys. And of course, there were the 6 of us, but then there were also 5 guys. 5 guys.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyways, yeah, there were 5 of these guys, okay? And this basically worked out perfectly because there was pretty much a guy for every single girl. And so we started doing this thing where every Friday after school was Friday movie night. It's exactly what it sounds like. We would pick somebody's house, we would go over there and we would watch a movie and just hang out. And this was still like early into high school. So it was extremely PG. Like most of the time somebody's parents would be home. And then as we started to get more comfortable hanging out with the opposite sex, things naturally started to happen. People started hooking up with each other. And just to say this real quick, at this age, hooking up meant making out. It did not mean having sex, okay? Like, you know, we were all making out with each other, maybe some light touching, nothing super serious. And another quick thing, it wasn't like everybody was just passing each other around, okay? This was not that at all. This was more of a, like, we all started hanging out and then certain people became interested in other people, and that's basically who they stuck with. Like, sure, there may have been a little overlapping in crushes or shit, but for the main part, everybody had their person. So eventually the friend group started to drift apart because eventually things started to get a little bit more serious between the guys and the girls that were hooking up, and they started only inviting the girls that they were hooking up with to hang out, and then other people would get left out, and it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like we were like, you know, really upset over this. But yeah, for the record, I didn't hook up with any of the guys. I didn't find any of them attractive, so yeah. This is whenever I start to become friends with people that are older than me. Like, there were these two girls named Maya and Lauren, and they were twins. They were super popular, which, to be honest, I really couldn't give two shits less about. They were just way more fun to be around, and I felt like I related to them more. Like, after being friends with people who were just so immature and petty, it was such a relief to finally talk to people who weren't like that. And I really do think that overall it was a maturity thing, because when you're somebody who's had to grow up faster than your friends or your peers around you, it's just easier to connect with people who've either had to grow up fast as well, or people that are older than you. For me, having a special needs brother forced me to grow up and mature faster than most of the kids, most of my peers in general. So yeah, anyways, I would be at their house all the time. We would go to parties together, and through them, I slowly started to meet other people and become friends with other people who just felt more like me. Some of these friends went to a private school, which is honestly shocking, y'all, because you would think that people that go to private school are very, like, uppity, and I thought that they were honestly going to be worse than the bitches in my friend group. But surprisingly, they were way more down to earth than a lot of the people at my school. Like, the girlies at the private school were actually some real ones, unlike the fake ass bitches at my school. During this time, a lot of the girls in my old friend group acted like I was some traitor, or like I had changed and left them behind, even though they were really the ones who were distancing themselves from me and pushing me away because they were being assholes to me and making fun of me for their own personal enjoyment, you know. But this was their perfect way to seem like the victim in the situation. Like, they would literally be like, we don't hang out anymore, like, you never want to hang out with us, you don't want to see us. And I would say to them, okay, well, like, let's plan something, guys, like, let's hang out, let's all get together, you know. But then I remember the one time Lena being like, well, hanging out with older people really isn't a good influence on us. All they do is drink, party, do drugs, and have sex, and you've been hanging out with them lately, and that's just not what we should be around. And now, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, there's no fucking way that these girls are sitting here trying to make me look like whatever the fuck they're trying to make me, a bad influence, whenever literally, mind you, these bitches were doing the exact same shit 2 months later. Not to mention, what I really think happened was, I think that Lena and Madison didn't like the fact that I was hanging out with older people who were also popular, because they knew that if they started hanging out with these kids that I was also hanging out with, the spotlight wouldn't be on them because they weren't as popular as the older girls, you know? Anyway, so fast forward. The group keeps fading out. Here and there we would all hang out, but for the most part, It was very much an occasional thing, okay? But there was this one guy who ended up joining our friend group, and his name was Ethan. Now, Ethan wasn't someone that I would go out of my way to talk to or anything like that, but he stood out to me. He was fine as fuck, but I kept that to myself for a while. Then one night, Lena and I are hanging out, it's just us, and I tell her that I think that Ethan's cute. I told her that him and we kept making eye contact, and I think that he's into me too. And then fast forward, it only took 2 days for all of us to be hanging out, whenever Madison all of a sudden makes an announcement to all of us, the entire group, that she has the biggest crush on Ethan. Oh yeah, bitches. Ethan this, Ethan that, Ethan blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. And I'm pissed. I'm like, this can't be fucking real. I just told Lena privately that I thought he was cute. We were making eye contact and shit like that. Now all of a sudden, this bitch wants him. Like, can I not have anything to my fucking self? Clearly not. And I already know that if I say anything now about liking Ethan, there's going to be a whole thing about how I'm only saying that I like Ethan because Madison said that she liked him and I want everything that Madison wants and I'm jealous of Madison, blah, 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 blah. So I just decided to let it go. I don't confront Lena about this. So now Madison starts going after Ethan, as I expected. To be fair, they made sense. You know those couples, that guy that's just like super hot and that girl that's really pretty, and they get together and it just makes sense that they're together. Not saying that I'm not hot, because I was hot, but they just made sense. That's the only way I knew how to put it. So they give it a shot, and Ethan don't want her. No, he doesn't. He doesn't want nothing to do with her. She apparently became way too obsessive. So bad to the point where Ethan literally had to like sit her down and tell her, Madison, you need to stop. I don't like you. Maybe we can all still be friends because we're all in the same friend group, but I don't want you like that. The only reason why I knew this was because Lena was super good friends with Ethan. Ethan told her, and then she told me. Because even though Madison's her best friend, they're both fake ass bitches. But yeah, she was like, yeah, he's not into her and she keeps pushing him away, blah, 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 blah. And I keep telling her to stop. And even though y'all are probably in your head like, okay, girl, this is go time. Go get your man. No, I still wasn't able to talk to him because not only did this go on for months, but everyone knew that Madison was obsessed with Ethan. Because as soon as the whole school knew that she liked him, she didn't give a fuck how she acted. She owned being obsessed with him. Like, she didn't give a fuck what anybody thought. And I really think that it's because, like, and everybody didn't say anything to her about it, that she looked desperate or anything, because it's a pretty girl who's going after a good looking guy. Nobody's out of each other's league, so nobody found it weird. But it was giving desperate as fuck. Anyway, so fast forward to a Valentine's Day party. It was one of those themed parties where you wear pink if you're single and white if you're in a couple. I was single, so I wore pink. And this party was thrown by one of my older friends. So nobody from the toxic friend group was there, thankfully. I had no idea that Ethan was gonna be there, but when he showed up, I was just like, oh my God, my man, my man. He looks so cute. This is probably definitely gonna get messy as fuck, but you know what? That sounds like a future me problem. Not me right now, Pookie. So he comes over to me, we start talking. We're having great conversation. We decide to go on a walk. We go on a walk, we're still talking. We walk back to the house and then we see Noah. Noah's another man that I find attractive. He walks out of the house and he goes to his car, and Ethan walks over to his car with him, and then they look at me and they're like, yo, do you want to come listen to music? And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's listen to some music. So I get in the car, we're all sitting in the back seat. It's Noah, Ethan, and me. We're all listening to music, and so I look over and I start making out with Ethan. And then I stop. And then I look over to my other side and I start making out with Noah. Yeah, I do. And I go back and forth between them like 3 times. Okay, when I tell you guys, this is like the most innocent threesome makeout session ever. Think of it as like, you know, those movies where a bunch of 12-year-olds are in the fucking basement playing spin a bottle with all their friends at a little party, and it's so innocent, you know. It's like, ooh, first crushes, this, that, and the next. That's literally what it was. It was nothing fucking psychotic where it's like, oh my god, she did what? No. Save that shit for a different story time. I promise there are plenty of other nasty ones out there. So then I'm like, okay guys, we should go back in. We go back in the party, have a good time. On Monday, I walk into school, and when I tell you guys, it was like a scene from a movie. Okay, like one of those high school movies where somebody walks into school, they've done something that they weren't supposed to do, or that somebody is now judging them for doing, and everybody's just like side-eyeing them, like bombastic side-eye type shit, okay? And I hear some whispers too, and I'm like, oh, fuck, shit, fuck, shit. Yeah, damn it. So then, I'm walking to class and Madison's little minion runs over to me, aka Tessa, and she's like, did you kiss Ethan? And I froze because in that moment I didn't know whether to lie or to tell the truth. But if I'm being honest, I didn't really even have a fucking choice because my face said it all. And then she's like, well, Madison knows and you should probably talk to her. And she just came up to me and said this super casually. Like, this wasn't during a conversation or anything like that. Like, no. So anyways, my stomach drops because I wanted to be the one to tell Madison. Like, I already knew that I had to tell her and I wanted to be the one to tell her. And if I'm being honest, guys, y'all know this because I'm telling you that I liked him. She didn't know that I liked him at the time. But I wasn't doing this to be like, oh, ha ha ha, bitch, this is for all the shit that you did to me. I didn't give a fuck. If I cared that badly, I could have done her way worse. Like, I really could have got my get back, okay, with that one. So no. But the worst part about all this is she thinks the world revolves around her. So she definitely probably thought as soon as she heard this that I kissed him because she liked him or to piss her off, blah, blah, blah. She probably never even considered the fact that I liked him. And Lena probably didn't sit there and say, oh, well, Madison, I mean, she did say that she liked him. No, because why would anybody be on my side? So yeah, and also I just regretted it because I knew that I had no intentions of dating this guy. He was just a cute crush. I thought he was cute, wanted to make out with him, and that was it. Anyway, so now the only thing that's going through my mind is I need to fix this. And before I'm even able to talk to her, a girl comes up to me and she's like, Madison's telling everybody not to be your friend because you're a backstabbing fake bitch. And now I'm thinking to myself, wait, like, is this serious? Like, are we in kindergarten? She's actually going around school telling people to not be friends with me. And they were listening. Like, it made sense because everybody's energy towards me was shifting, even people that I didn't even know. And I did try to make things right with her. I messaged her asking to talk, and she shut me down every time. And honestly, I think it's because she knew that she never was actually gonna be able to date Ethan. Like, he was never gonna like her like that. So she could use this as an excuse to be like, my best friend effed me over. She got with the guy that she knew that I loved, blah, 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 blah. And now him and I can't ever be together, this, that, and the next, whatever, whatever, whatever. And honestly, it worked though, because instead of people remembering that she had been acting unhinged for months, they thought all of it was because of me. I did end up saying something to Lena though, because out of everybody, I was the closest to her. And I said to her, I was like, Lena, y'all talk shit about everybody. Every time one person isn't hanging out with the group, the rest of you are gossiping about them. Like, what do you think happens when you're not there? It's not just like your excuse because you're Madison's best friend. No, you're probably first on the chopping block. Like, there's a big difference between venting about somebody and asking for advice about a friend versus just straight up gossiping about you and saying nasty things about you. She never got the point though. Finally, I realized these aren't my friends, and I completely cut them off and started focusing on myself. I even graduated high school a year early, walked with the class above me, and you can already imagine their reaction figuring out that I graduated early. They were literally saying things like, oh, she's never gonna get into a college, or it's so funny that she thinks she's really gonna get in anywhere good, blah, 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 blah. But I ended up getting accepted to all the schools they wanted to go to. So, suck on that, bitches. And honestly, it wasn't about me being smarter or finishing the fastest. Like, I didn't have some whole competition with them in my head. No. I was tired of the drama. I was tired of the cliques. I was tired of the fake shit and the bullying. I just literally could not do another year of it. So yeah. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you guys want to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, you can't send it in yet because I don't have the link set up, but I will have it set up soon. So other than that, I will see you guys next time with a new story time. Also, y'all, I know this look is giving like more Batman. Oh well, I don't give a fuck.